Everybody, Billtendo here. Another speed run with Fieryfoxx, my good friend, who is on the Arcade Cabinet podcast with us every week. She is currently a member. I know we haven't done one of these speed runs in a while. Actually, we've only done like one or two speed runs since you joined the crew. So that might not be fully well known enough yet. It should be because you've done like a bunch of episodes with us at this point, and I gotta say, a very good contributor, a very good cast member. So, I guess today we're just gonna keep it light, and we're gonna talk about where did you get your video games when you was a kid, and where do you get them now? So, because everybody has kind of different experiences. If you want to go ahead.
So when I was a kid, the only console that I had was a GameCube, and the only game that I had was Animal Crossing. So, yeah, the original Animal Crossing. And I played that shit like nobody's business. But my mom was really about, like I grew up in the late 90s, early 2000s. So it was the time of like Grand Theft Auto and
Right.
Halo and games where my mom was like, "Oh, there's a lot of violence and I don't really want my daughter playing violent video games." And it was that whole like hysteria about video games making kids violent. And my mom kind
Right.
of fell prey to that and was very particular about the games she would let me play and the consoles that she would give me access to. And, GameCube was kind of geared towards like kids
Oh,
and
it was safe, right?
safe, but I mean, Resident Evil games
Right,
came
right,
on it too, which I ended up playing and whatever. But
right.
anyway, so yeah, for me, most of my games my mom bought for me before I was old enough to buy them myself. She would never let me go to a game store. Or I would get them from my friends. Once I told them that I had a GameCube, we would like trade games. That was how I got Resident Evil, and I got one of the Sims games that way too. So that was big
Uh-huh.
for me. But game stores themselves were never really a thing for me growing up. And now, I buy most of my games online, unless it's something special edition that I really want to have a copy of, or if it comes with something really cool, like a map that I might want. But other than that, I buy them online.
Yeah. So for me, it was the same but different, I guess, because we have similar things how we used to get games. Basically, my dad got a hold of an Atari 2600 in like 1985. That's when I got that. I was like 9 years old. In case you don't realize, the Nintendo was already out by then. I had friends with Nintendos when I got my Atari 2600. Um, my NES. So I don't actually admit to anything here. Let's just say I took care of getting a hold of that NES when I was probably like 12 years old. I went ahead and got one.
Sketchy.
And yeah, exactly. Look, back then, things were different. We were very, very poor. We didn't have money. It wasn't a thing. So we also like as far as getting games, I don't remember my parents ever like giving me a game or anything like that. I would borrow a game from my cousin. Game stores didn't really exist too much back then where I was at. Um, the earliest I remember is EB Games, if you remember them, Electronics Boutique. They were in all the malls and they sold computer stuff, but then they started moving in towards games and eventually they got bought out by GameStop. So, like in my mall that was by my house, right across from each other on this side of the walkway was EB Games and GameStop was here. And so for like a year period, it was two GameStops after GameStop bought them out. And then right across the street from the mall in a little strip mall was another GameStop. It was really weird. Um, but I never really got in big to buying games from game stores. I would buy a game from EB Games every once in a while, but again, didn't have a lot of money. But I was resourceful, so I would procure games however I could. most of my games would come from going to pawn shops and buying older games for real cheap or flea markets. I've always loved going to flea markets. So, you can always find games at flea markets. I would say now, uh, as far as where I get my games now, everybody that knows me knows that during the sunny season, I am out every Saturday and Sunday morning hitting yard sales and flea markets and whatever, like to almost an excessive degree. Luckily, I finally got my wife on board with that because if not, my marriage would have a lot of problems with me getting out the door 5 o'clock in the morning every Saturday and Sunday morning because I want to drive an hour to where they're having a yard sale because I think they have Nintendo games there. She's very understanding, and she goes with me all the time. But otherwise, if that's just kind of luck of the draw games, that's just games in general. If there's something very specific I want, I generally go online to buy it. And I'm a physical guy. Like I want the physical copy of the game in my hand. I don't want to download it. So I'll buy games on Amazon. I'll buy games on Macari. I'll buy games on eBay occasionally. And I've ended up with so many extras and doubles and stuff that I actually started my own website that's named after our show, arcadecabinet.com. And, I'm selling thousands of games on there, but I'm trying to do it like as if I was a kid and I was going to that website because that's how kids buy games now. Um, make games use games inexpensive, and I'm not charging like eBay prices. I'm not charging Macari prices. I want people to find games that they want, but that I don't need. So like it's almost like I wish I would have been able to own a game store like that when I was young. You know, I just don't think there's enough of it. What's up to your cat?
Owner that you needed when you were a child. I know, Cloud.
Yes. What's up, Cloud? Fucking cat loves me.
Hello.
Cloud.
Obligatory,
Um,
yeah, Cloud's promo spot. He needs to show his face at least once every speed run that I do.
right, right. Well, Cloud heard my voice. He's like, oh, is that Bill? Oh, shit. So anyway, yeah, I like you said, I just want to be the kind of guy that I needed around when I was a kid. Hook me up with games for a decent price. But if I'm looking for a very specific game, I generally go online. There's one game that I do really want, Chibi Robo for GameCube, and I've wanted it for a long time. And I keep convincing myself that eventually I'm going to find this at a yard sale. I don't think it's ever going to happen. And the online prices for this game are absurd. It starts like I saw it come up for sale on Macari and be sold within 10 minutes for $180. And I'm like, I really want that game, man. But I don't. But I guess even more, I don't want to spend $180 on a game because at the end of the day, I'm cheap. You know,
Yeah. Yeah, we all ball in a budget. I feel that.
right? I want that game so bad. I watch gameplay of other people playing this game on YouTube, and I'm like, that's gonna be me one day. I'm gonna be running around that room and plugging into that outlet.
Oh my God. Well, hey, Switch for that. There's probably people playing that. Maybe that guy that bought that game out from under you for $180 is Twitch streaming it right now and you can watch it.
Yeah, right. I think that's a good point. He probably is. He's
You
probably
should
like, haha, I bought Chibi Robo and Billtendo had it in his basket.
you should put it in a misconnection on Craigslist. Like, dear Chibi
Oh,
Robo, I saw you on Mercari and I wanted to bid on you, but you just got away.
right.
The price was too high and it wasn't right. Soon we'll find each other.
But we live with regrets.
You should start oh my God, we live in a consistent state of regret until we meet again. It's destined to be. You know what? I've always been told that if you let it go, it'll come back to you. So
Right.
somehow it'll its way back to you. I'm confident.
That's what I think. Yeah, actually, Macari was like my spot for like a really long time for buying stuff, and not just games, but mostly games. I'll find stuff like my kids or my wife will ask me, "Hey, do you know where to get this?" And if it's a used item, I can look on Facebook Marketplace, but I can also look on Macari. I mean, I bought games and stuff off of there a million times, and I like it because, like I said, I'm cheap and I like to haggle with people. And on Macari, you can actually make offers back and forth and negotiate a price. And I enjoy that kind of stuff. But I think the wave of the future is like the end of of game stores. I just don't see a business model like GameStop holding out. Eventually it's going to be all online unless you want to go to Best Buy or Walmart, who has a little section for it. But a dedicated gaming store, unless it's for retro games, I just don't think it's going to carry. You
Well,
know?
yeah, the thing it's like if you're just a run-in-the-mill game store and all you're selling is what's popular right now and what people trade in if you buy it, you're limiting your market because a lot of collectors have those and they will go online to find what you do not have in store. And again, if I can buy it online and they'll ship it to my house for, a menial price, as long as I don't need it tomorrow, it's probably easier to get online. And you can find it for less expensive too, because they're not paying rent to keep a storefront open.
Right.
It's like a
Well,
lot.
that used to be my thing with ordering stuff online. I didn't ever want to do it because I was always an instant gratification person. Like I want this and I'm paying for it now, so I want it now. And now it's like a birthday present every single time I get something in the mail. I'm like, that's the exact face I was making today because I bought the Legend of Zelda Monopoly set off of somebody. It There was a guy that put it up on Facebook Marketplace, a friend of a friend, and the guy lived like an hour away. And I'm like, I don't want to drive there. If I send you an extra $10, will you mail it to me? And he said, yeah. And it came in the mail today. And I see the box sitting outside my garage where the post office usually leaves it. And I'm like, oh, I'm not waiting on anything. And I'm like, wait, I'm waiting on that Monopoly. And I picked it up. It's got my name on. And that's what I did. I took it to the kitchen with a knife and I'm opening it up like it's my birthday. Very excited. I love ordering stuff online now because I feel like it's a little gift every time I open it.
Not to be a super millennial, but like unboxing videos are very satisfying too. So you could also do unboxing videos for when you order shit. Like,
Right? I should. I really should. I did
you
one.
order so
Oh,
much stuff, you should.
I know. Oh, good lord. I probably should because I do order a lot of stuff. I did one unboxing video ever. And it wasn't even a good one. I did it very, very poorly on my personal YouTube. And it was actually like a year ago, right after Christmas. I ordered a bunch of stuff off of Amazon. Someone had given me an Amazon card for Christmas. I ordered a bunch of stuff off of Amazon. It was all game related stuff. Uh, and I did an unboxing video when I opened that box. But, honestly, maybe I should start recording some of me opening this stuff, Let people see
Definitely.
what it looks like coming out the box.
I'd watch. And it's a good opportunity too. Like honestly, if it's all messed up, you could be like, "Oh, this was supposed to be looking like this, but it looking like this. It's trash." And you could put like a big number, like a negative, and like Billtendo does not
Right?
approve. You suck. Or like Billtendo super approves. You're awesome.
Boom! Seal of approval.
And like for the awesome one, it can be you and the Yoshi head.
That's what's up. You know what? That's going to be iconic one day.
It's already iconic right here. I swear to you, I'm gonna make like one day we're gonna tune in for the call, and my background is gonna be like you with the Yoshi head on both sides, and I'm just gonna be like,
Yeah. Real quick, before we wrap this up, I have a friend, and we always trade game stuff, and sometimes I buy stuff from him. And I went to his house one day, and I like bought a bunch of stuff from him, and then he was like giving me a bunch of stuff, and he's got this all these boxes, and he's like, "Hey, do you want this? And do you want this?" And I was like, "Yeah," because some of it was really cool. Now, like I got a Wii U shelf with Link on one side and Mario on the other. It was a store display, and I'm like, yeah, that's really cool. And then he's like, hey, do you want this Yoshi costume? And I was like, no, man. I'm like 44 years old. What do I want a Yoshi costume for? And I turned around and I made it halfway up the stairs to the basement going out. And I turned back around and looked at him and I was like, yeah, let me get that Yoshi costume. And
Good choice.
I know I've probably worn it a dozen times since then. Sometimes I just put it on and dance around the house to make people laugh because I just don't care, you know.
Your poor wife.
I know I feel bad for her a lot, but at the same time, I want people to enjoy their lives.
She knew what
So
she was getting into.
she did, and you can only feel sorry for her so much because she knew what the deal was.
She probably saw your meme page before y'all got invited. Yeah, she knew. She knew.
Yeah, well, that's what did it. The memes did it. She's like, this guy is funny and creative and mildly attractive. I'm gonna DM him.
Shout out to your wife for seeing through your bullshit and wanting to be with you anyway, because Lord knows no one else would.
You got that right. All right, Jenny, we're gonna wrap it up right there. I'm Billtendo. You can find me right here. You can find me on the podcast with Jenny and Marcus and Sharon every Sunday. We're uploading on Mondays, Sundays most of the time. Anyway, every Monday on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts. You can also find me if you're looking for any video games or systems. I have what you're looking for. Check me out on the arcadecabinet.com. Thousands of items still being listed. If there's anything in particular you want, feel free to message me and I'll make sure it goes up on the site. Jenny?
Catch me outside. How about that?
All right, great. All right. Thanks everybody for watching.